September 15th, 2008. It began like any other Monday morning. Commuters filled the streets of New York. Coffee shops opened their doors. Traders walked into offices expecting another day on Wall Street. But before most people had finished their morning coffee, the world learned that one of America's largest investment banks had collapsed. Lehman Brothers was bankrupt. At first, it sounded like another headline in an already difficult year. It wasn't. Within days, global financial markets were in freefall. Credit froze. Banks stopped trusting each other. Businesses struggled to borrow money. Entire industries faced collapse. Families who had spent decades building their savings watched retirement accounts shrink almost overnight. Millions of people lost their jobs. Millions more lost their homes. For many, the financial system they had trusted their entire lives suddenly looked fragile. It felt as if the foundations of the global economy were beginning to crack. And while the world was focused on the crisis, someone quietly published a document on the internet. 9 pages. No company, no government, no press conference, no interviews. Just an idea. Its title was simple: Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. At the time, almost nobody noticed. Today, it has become one of the most influential documents of the 21st century. But Bitcoin wasn't created to make people rich. It wasn't created to start a financial revolution. It was created to answer a question. What happens when people stop trusting money? To answer that, we first have to understand what money actually is. Chapter 1. What gives money value? Most people spend money every single day. We earn it, save it, invest it, worry about it, but very few people ever stop to ask one simple question. Why does money have value at all? After all, a $100 bill is just paper. The numbers in your bank account are nothing more than entries in a computer. So why do we all agree they're worth something? The answer is surprisingly simple: trust. Money works because billions of people collectively believe it works. Thousands of years ago, people traded directly. A farmer might exchange wheat for fish. A blacksmith could trade tools for livestock. This system, known as barter, worked until it didn't. What if the fisherman didn't need wheat? What if the farmer didn't need tools? Trade became inefficient. Civilizations needed something everyone could agree had value. Across different cultures and different centuries, people experimented with shells, salt, silver, and eventually, gold. Gold wasn't valuable because it was magical. It was valuable because it was scarce. It couldn't be created overnight. It was difficult to mine, easy to recognize, and nearly impossible to counterfeit. For centuries, gold became one of humanity's most trusted forms of money. But carrying gold across countries wasn't exactly practical. So banks began offering something new. People could deposit their gold into secure vaults. In return, the bank issued paper certificates representing that gold. Those certificates were easier to carry, easier to exchange. And over time, people stopped exchanging the gold altogether. Instead, they exchanged the paper. Eventually, governments took control of issuing currency. And for many years, major currencies remained linked to gold, at least in theory. That changed forever in 1971. On August 15th, President Richard Nixon announced that the United States would suspend the dollar's convertibility into gold, for the first time in modern history. The world's reserve currency was backed primarily by trust, not by a physical asset. Money had entered a completely new era. Most people didn't notice. Life continued. Paychecks arrived. Stores stayed open. Banks kept operating. The system still worked, because trust remained intact. But trust is easier to lose than it is to build. And over the next few decades, the financial system became increasingly complex. Banks grew larger. Debt expanded. Financial products became more sophisticated. And beneath the surface, risks were quietly accumulating. By the mid-2000s, very few people realized just how fragile the system had become. Then, everything changed.